Hi everyone, happy Wednesday. So today I'm just going to walk you through really quickly how to edit the new digital planner mockup template that I created for you. So if you want to get access to this, it is inside of Planner Pixies. So it's just a quick mockup that I made. I'm going to share my screen with you. This is inside of Photoshop. So you have two templates available to you. And well, let me back up. Before you are able to make this template, you should have a JPEG of all of your images from your planner. So if you purchase planners from me, you do have images of all the pages as JPEGs. Now for the digital planner, I actually never created JPEGs of the digital planner pages, but it's really easy. Inside of Adobe InDesign, you just go to File, Export, and just export JPEGs. It's just that easy. So depending on how big your file is, it may take a while. Like if you have the daily planner, the digital planner, it could take quite a while. So you might want to shut everything down on your computer to export that file. But otherwise, it should be pretty quick, like maybe a minute or so for it to generate those pages for you. So I am going to share my entire screen because I think it's going to take up the whole screen to be able to see this. So you have two templates inside of there. One is called Main Mockup for Digital Planner, and the other one is called the Look Inside for the digital planner. So a couple different things. If you've never used Adobe Photoshop, you can purchase Adobe Photoshop one of two ways. One is, well, that's not true. You can purchase it one of three ways, but the first two are what I recommend. So the first way is to just buy a subscription to Creative Cloud. You get Photoshop, you get InDesign, you get Adobe Premiere, you get basically everything they've ever made. And then the other option is to buy what's called their, I think it's the photographer pack. It's only $9.99 per month. And it includes Photoshop and it includes, I believe, Lightroom or something for editing. I don't do anything with photos, so I don't even use it. But those two together are only $10 per month. And for some reason, if you were to get Photoshop all by itself, it's $19.99 per month. I don't know why it costs twice as much if you don't pair it with the camera, the Lightroom app, but that's just what happens. So make sure if you're like, I only need Photoshop, to just buy the Lightroom combo because it's half the price. So that's all I'll say about that. So if you are inside of, once you have this open inside of Photoshop, make sure you go to Window, Workspace, and I use Essentials. That's the default Photoshop view that you see right here. I haven't done anything special. It's just kind of what comes up on my computer when I open it. So this way you're looking at the same thing. Now over here in the layers panel on the right, if you don't see layers, because you really need layers in order to edit this file, just go to Window and make sure that there's a check mark in front of layers. Now, if you are like me and I have like two screens and I also have like a million things open on my computer right now, if that's the case, make sure you look around and you can see if it is like somewhere else. It's possible the layers panel, for whatever reason, whenever you open up any of these, like if I open up glyphs, oh, of course, it showed up right here. But sometimes those extra windows, especially when they run out of like real estate on your screen, it'll just put it somewhere random. And then you're like, I don't understand. It said the window was open, but I can't find it. It's pretty much true for all Adobe products. So we are going to just minimize that. We don't need glyphs right now. But everything on this file is editable. So a couple things. If you are unsure where to find it in the layers panel, if you simply click on something, so over here at the very top is what's called the move tool. And if you click on something, typically it will highlight it for you over here on the right. So let's just do the text because text is the easiest thing to edit, right? So this is called your digital footprint tracking, but maybe we would like to open up a different file. And you're going to have to make sure that, again, you have your JPEGs ready and like there for you. So we're going to open up the self-confidence planner and maybe we're going to call this something else. Instead of your digital footprint tracking, we'll call it your instant, oh, maybe we can make it all caps. Instant, or not, I swear I hit the caps button. Why is it not lighting up? Instant ego booster. I don't know. I'm just making words up. And let's say instead of 22, we're going to put something else like the, like, her brand. I don't know. That wasn't very creative, but maybe that's just the name of the brand that I want to use is her brand or something like that. So those little ellipses down there, I believe they're over here on the right above that. So if I just hit the Command T, it'll transform it. And what I can do is I can zoom in and then I can just move this over here. And then the second ellipse, I can highlight that over on the layers panel, hit Command T, which is like transform, and then I can move this one over here. And you can see those little pink lines. It kind of tries to give you a guide so it can tell you if you're even or not even, and you can tell I'm a little bit off. So there we go. All right, I'm gonna change that her brand and move it down here. So it is even Steven, right in the center. All right, I'm going to zoom back out so you can see everything. And then over here, maybe for this, let's keep going with the text. Maybe this one, you're going to start changing stuff around because maybe it isn't 78 pages, or it's not called the social media planner. It's called the it has self-confidence planner. Just so you know, if you have the latest version of Adobe Photoshop, that is simply the glyphs that are showing up, which are alternate like views of that same letter inside that font. That's all that is. So anyway, so you can just keep editing everything. So whenever you're in doubt, just double click on anything and you should be able to edit any of this text that's over here. So built for GoodNotes, iPad, and Apple Pencil friendly. And maybe I'm like a tablet user, right? And I want to say tablet, what is it called? Android friendly. So I want to make sure that people understand, even if they use an Android tablet, they don't need an iPad, they can use this for the Android as well. And I might even want to find the logo for Samsung tablet and put it over here. I actually don't even know what that logo looks like, so I don't know how identifiable that would be, but I feel like everyone knows GoodNotes, so we'll just leave it like that. So your second design, you can edit it the same way. So again, just kind of double click anywhere it has text and it says your favorite new digital planners here. Instead, you can say best female confidence booster ever is here, or whatever you want to say for all of these things. And maybe this isn't a table of contents. Maybe we call this the main workbook section, or whatever we want to call it. And I've obviously ran out of room, so I'm going to move this over a little bit. And same thing over here, maybe instead of section headers, I call these tab dividers, or whatever I want to say, right? So again, text, super easy to change. You just double click inside of here, interactive digital planner. So now this is a little bit different. This one has a box underneath it. So if I change this wording to something like, what did I say? Android and iPad friendly digital planner. Okay, I've gone way beyond the like limits of that box underneath. So all I have to do to make it look like it's supposed to be together is I can click that box underneath. And so the way layer panels work too in Photoshop is you never have to do, like in Adobe InDesign, we always say send to back. You don't do that inside of Photoshop. Anything that is on top is on top. It's kind of like king of the mountain, right? So if something is on top, the text is on top. You can see that right here. So the text appears on top of this rectangle that's down here. So I want to change this rectangle. Again, I just hit Command T to kind of transform it. And then over here, I can just kind of pull this out over to the left and to the right. I'll hit return and it's all set. So now everything like looks copacetic, like it's supposed to go together. So again, I can just keep changing all that text. So I think you get the idea. And also if maybe hot pink isn't the color I want to use. So if I hit this type tool over here on the left, you'll see it has shown me the color of that the text. So I could just move this around. I can change this to blue. Or if I want, I can hit this again and I can actually type in a hex code. So I am totally making up some numbers. I don't know what these are. Look at that. It kind of looks blue again. It's another hex code. So you can change it to any color you want. And also when you have that type tool selected over here at the top, you're going to see the font menu. So you can change it to any different font that you want. That looks a little weird, but whatever. It's your template. You can change it to whatever you want if it goes with the rest of the style. So I think we're good on text and changing that. Let me know if you have any questions. I think hopefully you can hear me. I didn't even ask if anyone could hear me. So I'm just going to assume all is good. Otherwise, I'll just re-record this. Let me double check. So, can you hear me? Do I hit the volume on? Yeah, I can hear myself in the other window, so we're all good. All right, so the next thing is, how do you actually change these images, right? So it's highly likely you purchased the Self-Confidence Planner or you just got it when you joined Planner Pixies, but maybe you have a totally different planner that you would like to use. So inside of here is what's called Smart Objects or clipping masks. And so what happens is, so let's look at this logo over here. So it says double click for your design. So all you have to do is what it says. You can double click and now you'll notice it opened up a new tab here inside of Photoshop. And this design is clipped. And the reason I know it's clipped is because there is a little arrow over here. So again, not a full Photoshop lesson, just teaching you what you need to know. And so if we go into so this was what was that? Oh, I said I was changing it to the Self-Confidence Planner. So if we go into the Self-Confidence Planner and I pick out one of the Self-Confidence logos. So what's a good logo? Maybe I want to use this logo. So it's like a gold logo. So I'm going to turn it sideways. So it's kind of sideways like that one. And if I just pull these little corners over here, it'll kind of drag and drop it out. So it's bigger or smaller. And this other one, I'm going to hit return. I obviously don't need this social media digital one. So I'm going to hit that little eye so it gets rid of it. So I'm going to come back here. I'm going to hit the Command T so I can transform this. And I'm going to try to center this because it doesn't look that centered right now. All right. I think it looks pretty centered. I could use the clipping mask, but I don't really have to because this logo fits within that circle. But if I had to use the clipping mask, I would just simply go to this layer and say create clipping mask if I needed to. And that's only if it's too big. So let me show you another logo. Like if I used this pink one that's really big. So if we make this really big and let me just turn this sideways. And just so you know, anytime you drag and drop an image into Photoshop, it automatically goes into transform mode so that you can move it around, resize it, reshape it, whatever you need to do. But this, I'm going to hit return. It's obviously way too big than the circle. So what we're going to do is we can go over here and say create clipping mask. And now you can see it clipped it so it fits inside of that circle that's underneath it. This is about as complicated as it will get. So I'm going to hit Control S to save this. And when I go back over to here, I can see that new logo. So maybe I like it, maybe I don't like it. So I can go back over here and I can try this other one. So all of these here are supposed to be little eyes. Like, can you see it? Can you not see it? That's visibility over here. So I'm going to hit Control S to save this again. And then when I go back here, I can now see it's open into that other logo. So I like that other logo a little better. It just feels like it looks nicer to me. So I'm going to close this so I don't accidentally edit that again. And then over here, if I need to change this image right here, you'll see that it has again, it's a smart object. So I can just double click this and I can change this over here. So I can drop in an image from my digital planner. That's a JPEG. Just open up to whatever pages. And so I'm going to open it up to, can I find pages? Over here. So I'm just going to drag and drop these again. So I'm going to pull these out to the corners, just like that. And I'm going to hit return, and it's perfect. So again, I'm going to hit Control S to save that. And then, or I should say Command S. It's always Command. I'm used to saying Control. I used to be a Windows user. And so now we have our new design inside of there. So how do you change all of these other images? You just keep doing that over and over again. Now you'll notice this is inside of an iPad. So I took an image from my digital planner. These over here are individual pages. So I will take pages from the actual self-confidence planner, the printable one, the PDF, instead of using ones from here. So if I go back in and I go back to my JPEGs, so over here, if I want to change this, again, all you have to do is make sure that this move tool here is selected and click on any image instead of trying to look for it. And then you do just what it says, double click for your design. I'm going to double click this, and then I'm going to drop a page inside of here. So I'm going to drop this page in, and I'm going to drop it here. So now you'll notice that this page is a little longer than the actual page. So you're just going to hold the Shift key down, and you're going to pull this down, and you're going to hit Control S to save that. We're going to close this out, and then we can see that image right over here. Same thing over here on the left side. I can just go through, and one by one, I can double click these, and I can replace these with new images. And again, because it's in that transform mode, I'm just going to pull it up and down. I'm going to hit return, hit the Command S to save it. And sometimes if you try to close it before it saves, it'll prompt you to save it. And now I can see that new image over here. So let's go ahead and just change these last three. Just going to pop in some new images. I'm going to pull these up. I'm going to hit Command S. I'm going to close these out. And these over here, same thing. Now you're barely going to see those pages, so it probably doesn't matter as much what you pick out for those pages. So just keep that in mind. Remember, it's a mock-up. You're not trying to show every page. And then over here we have this last one. So we're going to double click that again, just like before. Drop a page inside of here. And hit return, Command S. And now I've changed this whole entire thing. So everything is done. All I have to do is maybe change the wording. So the only thing left is maybe I don't really want this to be pink, right? So maybe I want it to have more of a yellow undertone or something like that. So if I select this, you can see that it has now selected this item. So I could just hit this to make it a little lighter. I could also go over here to the bottom where it says background, and I could go ahead and change this. I think it has a color. We could change the color overlay over here to something a little bit more in the gold color. So maybe something like that. So again, this color picker is pretty easy. Obviously, you can put in a hex code if you want to be really specific. As you know, I kind of like to eyeball things, but now everything kind of matches. And we have the pink, we have the gold, and now it has more of a gold feel than it did before with that pink feel. So hopefully that helped you to learn how to edit these. Let's jump over to the second one. The second one works exactly the same. Anytime you touch any of these images, all you have to do is double click this and then drop a page in. So you can see it has the coil here, which means you should use one of the mock-ups from the digital planner. And the way to use a mock-up from the digital planner is, again, you just go to File, Export inside of Adobe InDesign and export JPEGs. And all of these will come up as JPEGs for you. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's grab another page from inside there. I'm going to drop this right inside of here. And it actually sized out perfect. I'm going to hit return, Control S, and I'm going to save this. And now you can see we have our new format right here. So let me know if you have any questions. But again, this was really just to help you to sell your planners and just kind of put them in a pretty light, put a bunch of pages all at once. It just looks a little nicer when people are kind of scrolling through Etsy to see a nice little mock-up. So if you would like access to these two templates, you can get them right away using when you join a Planner Pixies. I was like, what's the name of my membership? They're all inside of there. So they're inside and waiting for you. So I like to add a couple little things. I think last month I added, or was it the month before, I added some, I I know I have a lot of windows open. I added the, what was it? Wedding invitation templates. So those are inside of there for you as well. All right, let me know if you have any questions even after this. This video will go into the Planner Pixies membership so that you can see it for whenever you want to start editing. All right.